All right, I'm recording now. All right, so what I want you to do is look on the discussions real quick, okay? So we have two new discussions that you guys need to pay attention for. Our first discussion is called Vote, Vote, Vote. This is where you have to post a picture of yourself voting or a picture of you helping somebody vote, okay? If you guys aren't going to be old enough by the time of the election. In case you guys didn't know this, it's an election year and the election's coming up real soon, okay? So this assignment is due on November 3rd, which is election day, but I had to post it now because the state of Utah is mailing out ballots like this week. And I didn't want like your moms and dads to vote, mail in the ballots, and then for you to like realize in November that you needed to take a picture. Okay, are we clear? So you just need to, you know, show a picture of you holding the ballot with your mom and dad. Don't tell me who your mom and dad voted for. Don't, you know, I don't want that. I don't care about that, right? But like the sealed envelope, when they get the sealed envelope, you could just, you know, help them and take a picture. The whole point here is that voting is like the most important thing you can do as a citizen. It's like your duty as a citizen. And I'm trying to instill within you guys a sense of civic duty, right? That as I am aware that you guys as 11th graders probably won't be able to vote. I have a couple of 12th graders in the class, but as 11th graders, you probably won't be able to vote. I get that, but you got to find someone else that you can help them with, okay? An older sibling, a parent, a guardian, a family friend, a neighbor, you know, someone from church or whatever, three sneaky beavers in a trench coat, whatever you're gonna do, cool? Are we all on board? Do you understand? This assignment's super easy. All you do is post a picture. That's it. Just a picture. And you get a free 25 points. This discussion actually goes on to quarter two because election day is on quarter two, but I had to start it now, right? I had to start it now because the Utah mails out its ballots, okay? The state of Utah mails out ballots to all voters in the entire state. And we've done that now for 6 election cycles and we've never had a problem with it at all. It works really well and it's good because it means Utahns vote more. Yeah. Do you guys understand? Do you have any questions? Shivani, you look like you have a question.
Well, no, not really. It's just like my parents aren't citizens, so I have to find some neighbor. So I was just thinking about which neighbor I should ask.
Yeah, just find somebody to vote, somebody who can vote. I am confident that you can find somebody, right? If it comes down to it, so Utah does have in-person voting as well. When we go have in-person voting, if you go and take a picture at the in-person voting station, you can just do that too, if that's what it comes down to. Okay, cool. Eric, Anika, you guys are good? Yeah. Anika, you should make sure that Richie Fishy votes. Yeah, I don't know if I want him to vote. I gotta think this through. Yes, I guess I do, I suppose. Though he and I are going to disagree on most everything. All right, next thing, you guys have to get this done right now. You guys have to do your signing in for my class on AP. Okay, so what I need to do, I need you to do this tonight. Don't do it right now while we're on board here, but do it today and email me today that you've done this. Let me put it in our chat here. Okay, go to myapp.collegeboard.org. Come on now. Why can't I use the chat? This is so stupid. Hey, Anika, say something in the chat for me. Why can't I do this? What is wrong with this thing? Did you say something in the chat? All right. Okay. I'm going to have to send this out as an email. For some reason, the chat isn't working for me. Let me try to not share. Stop sharing. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me try to share again. Okay, so there's the chat. I just had to reload it. All right, so go to myap.collegeboard.org. Okay, and then when you go log in, you'll go in there and you'll log in using your personal email. Okay, this cannot be your school email. It has to be a personal email, and it should have been the personal email you used last year. Okay, it should be your personal email. It's really, really important that it's a personal email, because when you're seniors, you won't be able to access your AP scores, because your Hillcrest email address will be deleted like 2 weeks after graduation. So seniors who do this screwed up don't get their scores. Okay, so it's really important that you do it in your own scores. When you do that, you go to click on add a class. You click on join a course is what it is. Join a course, and this is where you add my code. Okay, 6K2K3Y. Write that down. You need that code. Okay. 6K2K3Y. That's my class. When you'll enter that in, you'll hit join. It should pop up my name, Hillcrest, period 3. It should pop that up, okay? And then you click on join that, and then you'll be good to go. Do we have questions about this? Okay. I need you to do this today, and I need you to send me an email today that you've done it. Okay? All right. The next thing is the money. You have to pay the dues. The dues are $99 for the test. $99 for the test. You pay through the front office of the school, right? I think you can pay online. I think you can, or you can come in person and pay, right? If your family's on free or reduced lunch, then the fee will get reduced. If you need money, if your family needs money, like if there's an issue that you need help paying for it, we do have a fund to help pay for students' fees who need the help, but we don't have enough money to pay for everybody, right? So we can pay for the ones who need it, but we don't have enough to pay for everybody, okay? So if you need help, you can let me know and I can tell you where I can take you to the counselors and have you help them out, or you can just go right to the counselors. You never need to tell me. Are we cool? Give me a thumbs up if you understand. Okay, how much money is it? $99. $99, and when is it due? By October 30th. October 30. Got it? Okay. I am going to have an assignment that I'll put onto Canvas in the Q2, and the assignment is pay your fee. When the counselors give me the list of everyone who's paid their fees, I will just give you points on the assignment. Okay. I'll put it on Q2 when we get to Q2. Okay. But you could pay it today and you'll still be on the list when I look at it in the beginning of Q2. Cool? Cool, cool? Cool. All right, so we got that housekeeping out of the way. Get that taken care of, okay? Let's look at the other discussion now. The other discussion, this one is really time sensitive. You need to pay attention to this now. All right, so let's get, Shivani, can you read it for us?
1 second. I'm gonna open up my laptop. Oh, dang it, I was just there.
It's
okay,
a discussion called So You Think You're Smarter Than Madison.
Okay. The U.S. Constitution is the founding governing document of the United States. In order to understand U.S. history, you really need to understand this document. One of the central features of the document is that it can be amended and changed. Article 5. Students must, number 1, read the Constitution, all 3 links above. Number 2, propose an amendment that fixes the Constitution. You can take something out or add something you feel is missing. You are smarter than Madison, Hamilton, and Jefferson. Those guys didn't even know how to use a smartphone, so prove it. You must describe which part of the Constitution you are addressing, and then in italics, write the amendment. Number
All
3.
right. Okay,
Oh,
Eric, you read.
Number 3, argue with each other as to why their amendments are good or bad. Amendments that don't make sense show that the student doesn't understand a part of the Constitution they are changing will receive a 0. Number 4, vote on each other's amendments, all of them. Keep it easy. I vote yes because, or I vote no because. Number 5, the amendments that get a 2/3 majority, as dictated by Article 5, will get the bonus points. There are 38 of you, so that means you need to get 24 yes votes. Number 6, amendments will be ratified in the order they are passed. Future amendments can affect previous amendments. Past amendments can render future amendments null and void.
Okay, so thank you, both of you. Anika can't read because she can't figure out how to use her computer. All right, so you get 10 points for proposing your amendment. You get 2 points for arguing on another person's amendment, right? A max of 10 points there, okay? You get 10 points for voting on all of the amendments. And it's a yes or no option. Either you voted on them or you didn't vote on them. And then your bonus points is 20. So you could get 50 out of 30 points on this, which is quite a bit, right? So if you like missed a discussion in the beginning, Annika, so if you missed a discussion in the beginning, this is a good way for you to make up for that, right? Now, here's the trick. You can amend any part of the Constitution. You can amend an amendment if you want, right? We have amendments that amend amendments, actually. So you can amend an amendment, you can amend a part of the Constitution, but you have to campaign and get the votes for it. This is tough for you online people, because in class, they're actually spending some time campaigning each other and getting them to vote. So it's harder for you guys. I'm not 100% sure how you're going to go about doing it, but you could talk to them on social media or something like that, or call them up, or maybe your amendment is just that beautiful that they will vote for it. But here's the trick. Can you pass this if you post your amendment on Friday afternoon? No, right? Are you going to be able to get 24 votes by Friday afternoon if you post it at like 1 o'clock on Friday? No. When is it close? When does it close? 2:30 on Friday, right? Close of business on Friday. So this means you have to have your amendment proposed today, especially the online people, right? Because you need as much time as lead time as possible to get this thing passed. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, argumentation is going to happen over a couple of days, but your amendment, you guys probably should be like numbers 1, 2, and 3, getting your amendments posted. Like as soon as we're done here today, you should do that. Yeah.
has anyone posted theirs?
I don't think so. No one's posted them yet. Today in class, we did spend time reading the Constitution and discussing this in class, but nobody posted anything yet. They were just reading the Constitution today. Okay. Did you guys all take AP Government last year? Yeah. Okay. So the people who take AP Government should have a pretty good idea of what's going on here already, right? So those of you who took AP Government are at an advantage to get this done. Cool. Do we have any questions? Anika, are you trying to talk? No, you're not. Okay. All right. we're not gonna sit here and read it with you guys right now, but in class, that's what they were doing for part of the day. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, Anika, right? You have to come back because you need to get points. You get 10 points for your own one, which you post today, and then you get 10 points for arguing on other people's ones over the next couple of days, and then you get 10 points for voting as well. So each one of you should respond to every single person's amendment, okay? And you can vote yes, you can vote no, or you can abstain. Either of those are fine. In fact, I'm gonna add abstain on here so people know. Do you guys know what abstain means? Eric, what does abstain mean?
Choose not to vote.
Yeah, but you're basically voting not to vote, right? I abstain. You can abstain, and that's a lot of people. A lot of times, like senators and congressmen and stuff, they will abstain. They will vote abstain, right? So that's fine. You can abstain if you'd like, and you can just abstain everything and make it harder for everyone to get the bonus points if you want. That's like China in the United Nations always does that. China in the United Nations, China abstains like 2/3 of all votes, basically. Yeah, they just don't vote. Yeah. All right. Do we have questions about this? Going once? Going twice? Shivani, no? Sold. All right. You should get this posted as soon as possible. All right, so let's go to our notes in here. Now, did you guys do the readings? What was the last thing, Shivani, what was the last thing you guys did? Did we do the Stamp Act?
We did that. Let me just get my notebook.
Did we, or Eric, either of you guys? So we did the Stamp Act. Did we do the
Yeah.
Townsend Acts?
Yeah, we did.
We did. Did we do Christopher Cedar?
Not yet.
Okay. Now you guys should have read the 2 documents. Did you do the readings of the 2 documents?
Yeah, sorry, one second. My notebook's in the other room, so I'm gonna go grab it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let me walk through this and then we'll get to the documents in just a minute. Okay. All right. So this should be big number K, I think. Is that what we're on?
I feel like we're on H.
Sure. H.
Yeah.
All right. Anika says H also. She's throwing gang signs, but I think she's trying to say H. Okay. All right. So big number H. Big number H, the death of Christopher Cedar. All right. So the Townsend Acts were passed in 1767. Remind me what the Townsend Acts are. Oh, we left off with John Hancock, right? Did we not talk about this? Let's go.
John Hancock.
I don't think we talked about it. Okay, so let's go back to the Townsend Acts real quick. All right, so Eric.
No, we did do it.
Yeah, I think we left it without the capture of the Liberty.
Oh.
Is that right?
Yeah, we got that. I wrote it down at least.
Okay. What is the Liberty?
It's the ship, and it was owned by John Hancock. And
Okay.
apparently it was captured for smuggling something.
Okay. Why does John Hancock matter? What did he do after his ship gets captured?
Okay, I think that's where we stopped.
What did he do? Why does this guy matter? Do you have that or no? No? Okay. So Hancock is one of the richest people in America at this time period. And he made his fortune by smuggling. Okay? Smuggling is big business in the United States. Big business. Something like 9/10 of all goods coming into the United States are smuggled. So it's a lot. Okay, so this guy is smuggling like 9/10 of all the stuff, particularly sugar and molasses. Okay, sugar and molasses. And molasses is good because it makes rum. It's the primary ingredient of rum. Okay, so the Liberty gets captured. He's not on the ship, he's on the shore, so he doesn't get arrested. But he then looks at this as complete tyranny, that his ship is captured. And so he starts to basically publish all sorts of like anti-British stuff, right? Upping and upping and upping the anti-British stuff, okay? 1767, these Townsend Acts are viewed as tyrannical by most Americans, especially up in Boston. A lot of Americans don't really care that much, but the Bostonians are really, really riled up. You're going to find Boston is like a particular hot point, okay? So let's deal with the death of Christopher Cedar. This is a couple years later, 1770, February of 1770, okay? Big number H. Big number H, Christopher Cedar. Now, Christopher Cedar is a 14-year-old boy. He's a 14-year-old boy, and he's a member of a group called the Sons of Liberty. The Sons of Liberty is a group founded by this guy right here, Samuel Adams. He is cousins to John Adams. He's John Adams's cousin. And he founds this group called the Sons of Liberty. This is their flag. Look familiar, doesn't it? It's going to become inspiration for the American flag, right? So this is their flag. And the Sons of Liberty are a group of patriots who are opposed to the British. These are patriots opposed to the British. At varying times, the Sons of Liberty have different kinds of descriptors. Sometimes the Sons of Liberty act like a political party. Okay, so sometimes they act like a political party where they're like trying to influence elections and trying to influence laws getting passed and things like that. Sometimes they act like a political party. Sometimes they act like a drunk mob of criminals. Okay, Sam Adams owns a brewery. He owns a brewery in Massachusetts, in Boston. He owns a brewery. He also, it's where Sam Adams beer, the name comes from. It isn't his actual brewery. They revived the name eventually, right? But he does own a brewery. He owns a couple other businesses and stuff. He's just a rich, prominent businessman, essentially. And he's running this group of Sons of Liberty. Now, Christopher Cedar, a 14-year-old boy, is a member of the Sons of Liberty. And Christopher Cedar and a bunch of other people are out drunk one night. They're out drunk on a cold February night in Boston, Massachusetts, right? February in Boston is cold. It's cold, it's snowy, it's dark. He's out here harassing a British man. And they're harassing a loyal British man, a representative of the king. And the representative of the king is yelling back and forth. I forget the guy's name, but he's not super important. He's yelling back and forth, and they're yelling back and forth. And then the British guy feels threatened. And so the British guy takes a gun out and he says, either you guys back off or I'm going to shoot my gun. Christopher Cedar is arguing with them and says, you won't do it. Like basically calls the guy's bluff. And so the guy shoots. He claims that he's trying to shoot into the ground just to scare people away, but he shoots Christopher Cedar and kills him. Now, people get shot in America all the time, right? This is America. People get shot in America all the time. Even kids get shot in America all the time. And if you've ever met teenagers, you'll know that teenagers are kind of the worst, right? And so you always kind of want to shoot teenagers. You know what I mean? If you've ever met teenagers, you'll know what I'm talking about, right? That I always kind of want to shoot almost every teenager I meet. You know what I mean? Kind of. Like low level, like 20% of the time, that's what I want to do. But you shouldn't actually do it. So Christopher Cedar is different. It's at this moment of high tension where his funeral becomes a political event. His funeral becomes a political event. 2,000 people show up to Christopher Cedar's funeral. That's what this picture is supposed to be. This is an engraving of Christopher Cedar's funeral. 2,000 people show up for this funeral, and it becomes like a statement about the British. Okay? And it's setting up what's going to happen just shortly later. Tensions are really, really high. Now this British guy has murdered a child who was a patriot. So look at this, just a week later, we're gonna get the massacre. So this is what your readings were about, okay? So according to your readings, what do you guys tell me what happened on the night of this massacre? Shivani, why don't you start us off, Shivani, and then Eric.
Okay, so on Preston's side, he said that he heard, or someone heard, that there was going to be a riot or something, that they were luring in the representatives to try and hurt them or kill them. So they all went in armed, and they were like, bang, bang, and then they killed 3 people.
Okay, so we need to get some more details. Let's set it up before that. What? No, you're fine, but we need to like frame it, right? This is like an essay writing kind of skill. You need to be able to frame what's going on here, because Shivani, you jumped right to the third act, right? So frame the story for me. What's happening? What's happening on this fateful March night? Any of you? chime in. Why did we get a position where the soldiers and the patriots are out in the street anyway? What happened?
Was it because they were really mad about the acts, the Townshend Act, and
Okay.
the other one?
And they're mad about the funeral. They're mad about a
Oh.
little boy who was just killed, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we have a whole bunch of Americans, Bostonians. We have a bunch of Bostonians out in the street. Okay. Eric, what else?
Didn't they threaten the Board of Customs or something?
Okay, so they start threatening. They're threatening the cops. They're the police, the soldiers. They're threatening the soldiers, and we have Tom Preston, who's a soldier. He's the captain. Okay, all right, and talk to me about that threat. Anika, what does that threat look like? Anika's giving us the threat. Shivani, give us the response. What is Preston's response to the threat?
Well, was the response to Massacre? They just went in with a bunch of people.
Yes, Anika, the Ingu riot. Give us some more details about the riot. What else? All right, let's deal with the threat. So the Bostonians start threatening these soldiers, right? And what are they doing? Are they just talking, or are they doing something else? What is threatening about them? Okay, they're throwing stones. They're throwing snowballs. They start throwing snowballs, and then they start throwing ice and oyster shells. Ice and oyster shells, right? It is Boston, so there's oyster shells everywhere, right? Okay, what else? Okay, so in your notes, let's put it in here, okay? We have a group of the Sons of Liberty, a group of the Sons of Liberty who are out, and then we have the British soldiers who are out, okay? Tension is really high. They start shouting at each other. The Sons of Liberty guys are carrying clubs as well. So it's right in front of a rope maker's building. And when you make rope, there's like a big club that you have to use to beat the rope in order to get the rope out. And a lot of the guys walk out carrying their rope clubs, the rope beating clubs. Okay. The Sons of Liberty start throwing ice. Okay. And they're being led by this man, Crispus Attucks. Okay. Now, Crispus Attucks should stand out to you. One of these things is not like the other, right? Crispus Attucks is black. He's half black, half native, free. He's a free man. He's a free man, half black, half native, and he lives in Boston. And he is kind of leading this crowd, okay? So these guys are holding clubs and throwing ice. The soldiers are threatening the Bostonians and telling them to go back. The soldiers are saying, go back, go home, get out of here, right? But the Sons of Liberty are more than a little bit drunk. They're more than a little bit of drunk. There's a significant amount of the American Revolution that's drunk. Like if we go through all these events in the American Revolution, there's a significant number of these events that are fueled by alcohol. Alcohol, bringing revolutions since 1776. Okay, all right. One of the Bostonians runs and starts to chime the fire alarm. Okay, they don't have phones yet, they don't have electricity yet, but all the city streets have a bell that's up on a big post, and they start to ring that bell. And when you ring that bell, all the men are supposed to come out and help put out the fire. So the Bostonians, there isn't an actual fire. There is no fire. They just ring the bell because they're trying to get everybody out for what they look as what's going to be a fight. We get to this point where there's like 40 Bostonians and like 7 soldiers. And that's when the Bostonians are shouting and yelling. Somebody yells fire. Somebody yells the word fire. Okay. The British soldiers open fire on the Bostonians and kill 7 men, including Crispus Attucks. They kill Addicts and 6 other men. Now, with your stories, with the things that you read, what can you tell me? Who's guilty? Who's guilty? Are the Bostonians guilty for provoking the soldiers, or are the soldiers guilty for opening fire on civilians?
I feel like there's fault on both sides
Okay.
because obviously the colonists were provoking the British soldiers. They were throwing snowballs and everything. But also the response by the British soldiers to shoot, well, at least from what Captain Preston wrote, was kind of unprecedented and wasn't along with what the captain said.
Okay.
It could also be that it got confused with all of the yelling.
So did Preston order to shoot?
He says that he didn't.
He says that he did not, right? Who says that he did?
A colonist and his soldiers.
Yeah, so the Americans all say that he ordered to shoot, okay? Now this matters a lot. This matters a lot because right after this happens, it turns into like a riot the next day, right? People run away. Why is Kira in my waiting room? Let me admit Kira real quick. Hey, Kira, did you need something? This isn't your day today.
Sorry, it's not a B day?
No, today's an A day. So
Oh,
you guys
sorry,
are tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep, no worries. This is APUS, so. All right. So it turns into like almost riots. The people are like really upset about this. Thomas Hutchins, the governor of Massachusetts, he says, everyone go home and I will investigate this the next day. Okay. He's a loyalist. He's loyal to the crown. And so he investigates it and he arrests the soldiers the next day. Now this enters Paul Revere. Paul Revere, founding father, but not good enough to get his name in colors. Paul Revere, he is a local blacksmith. Silversmith. He does like metalworking and stuff. And what Paul Revere does is Paul Revere very, very quickly draws this picture and writes up this report. Okay, printed and sold by Paul Revere. Okay, he draws this picture and writes up this report. Paul Revere starts to spread the rumors about what happened that night. Now, Revere was not there, but Revere is a member of the Sons of Liberty, and he wants to overthrow the British. He hates the British, right? So he starts giving us this story about Preston back here giving the orders. Now, does this picture align with what Preston tells us? There's a really important thing about what Preston says. Where's Preston standing?
In the back.
In the picture he is, but in his testimony, where is he standing?
With his men?
In front of his men. In his testimony, Preston is standing over here because Preston's the one talking to the Bostonians. And one of Preston's defenses is, A, why would I call fire when I'm the one standing in front of their guns? Right? That's a pretty solid argument. Why would I call fire when I'm the one standing in front of the guns? The other thing is that Preston says, you know, we felt threatened. These dudes there's 40 of them, and they had clubs, and they were throwing oyster shells and rocks and ice at us and stuff, right? A bunch of the soldiers have like bloody faces that they got hit with the sharp rocks and stuff. The Bostonians don't care. Paul Revere is doing too good of a job. The Bostonians just want blood. They're out for blood. Okay, our next number here. This should be L, I think. What are we on?
Was the Boston Massacre I?
Okay, so this one's J.
Yeah.
J. Okay. All right, so the trial is J. All right, so our trial becomes a really, really hot controversy, okay? And one, John Adams is going to step in. John Adams is going to defend the soldiers. Now, this is really, really risky for Adams, okay? What do we know Adams from so far? What did he do before this? He entered our story last class period. What did he do in the last class period? Anika, what's John Adams known for? Oh no, that's the worst answer. Look in your notes from last time. Look in your notes from last time. What does John Adams do before this? Eric, Shivani, everyone, look in your notes.
He opposed the Stamp Act, right?
Yeah. So John Adams became the largest voice, basically the loudest voice opposing the Stamp Act. And he's a lawyer. He's a brilliant lawyer. He's maybe the best lawyer in the whole colonies, right? He's brilliant, right? Graduated from Harvard when he was like 19 years old or something like that, right? And he has a really successful law practice in Boston. He's also from the political family too. So he had avoided, or he had opposed the Stamp Act. Okay, this gives him a lot of street cred with Bostonians, right? Because they know that he's not a loyalist. They know that he's not a loyalist. He's not an apologist for the British. He's not loyal to the crown. The Bostonians trust him. And so he steps in and he says, we need to have rule of law. And rule of law requires that the innocent are proven until guilty, and that we must have a fair and independent trial. Okay, there's a concept you need as rule of law. Let's define that as a concept. The rule of law is, as a concept, the rule of law states that the entire country is run by laws. It is not run by people, it's run by laws, which means everyone is subject to the law. Okay, the United States has what we call rule of law. This means everyone is subject to the law. Okay, we don't have like a king who just decides to execute you. Okay, if you're going to be executed by the state, you need to meet certain criteria, right? You had to have done certain things, and you had to have gone through this trial, and you had to have been found guilty, and you know what I mean? Like, you have to meet all those criteria in order to be executed by the state. In a monarchy, that's not the case. Kings can do whatever they want. John Adams makes an argument for the rule of law. He also says that in the rule of law, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, no matter how unpopular they are, right? If you're a British soldier who shot Americans, you are innocent until proven guilty, okay? And one of the other things that you have to have in order for it to be a rule of law is that the trial must be independent. It must be public, and it must be independent. Okay, these concepts are very, very important. They are not John Adams's concepts. He didn't come up with these ideas, but it means a lot to him, and he is going to become like the strongest advocate arguing in favor of these things. Over the course of his trial, John Adams calls in all these different colonists as witnesses. He calls in the soldiers as witnesses, and he gets them to testify. And as it turns out, the Americans are lying. The Bostonians are lying, right? Because the Bostonians are like, I saw Captain Preston in the back. And then Adams said, well, I thought you said you were talking to him. And he says, I was talking to him. And so John Adams says, no, so you were standing behind the soldiers also? And he's like, no, I was standing with the Patriots. I was talking to him with the Patriots. And John Adams says, well, either Preston was in front of his men talking to the Patriots, or you were not a Patriot standing with the soldiers. Right? And the guy's like, oh, yeah, he was in the front. Right? And they go through this where they're, you know, they make all these things, they make all these arguments, and they find that the Americans are lying about a lot of this stuff. And that the Americans have all these false memories, right? They have false memories of it because Paul Revere drew this picture, and the Sons of Liberty were publishing stories and stuff. That as the Americans read the stories, the Americans started to believe the story was what they saw, but it wasn't actually true, right? John Adams, in his closing statement, has one of his most famous quotes: "Facts are a stubborn thing." It's a quote that you should be able to use in an essay. Facts are a stubborn thing. Where John Adams says, facts are a stubborn thing. They do not change no matter how much you want them to change. Right? The placement of Captain Preston, the guilt of Captain Preston, doesn't matter what you think about it. Facts are stubborn. Fact is a fact. And when Adams makes this argument to the jury agrees with him, and they find Captain Preston not guilty. This is a monumental case. One, it makes Adams famous across the entire across all the colonies. So it's the importance of this case. Number one, Adams becomes famous across the whole colony. Two, it shows that even people who are unpopular, even people who are against public opinion, deserve justice. And three, it shows the value of an independent court system. Facts are a stubborn thing. Okay, I'm going to pick this up with the T-Act next time. We're going to leave that there. We're going to leave it here with facts being so stubborn. Okay, I really want you guys to get that, do the sign up for my class on AP. Do that right now. Email me, and then put your constitutional amendment up on the discussion today. Okay, are we good with that? Do we have any questions? Oh, there's a quiz. I forgot the quiz. Yes. All right, your quiz. The password is, the quiz, it's number 4. Wait, no, you guys don't have a quiz. My 12th graders have a quiz. You guys don't have one, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, get the amendment, get the sign up for the AP. My 12th graders have a quiz. Cool? Do we have any questions or comments or problems or anything? Going once, going twice. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Well, you can actually ask later too, that's fine. All right, then I think we are done for the day. Unless you guys have problems, then we're done.